Good evening, Tejas sir. Good evening, Preeti ma'am. Good evening, Hemant sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hi.
Hi, sir. Sir, so do we need to wait for some time or?
We are ready whenever you are.
I think Ratan, we can start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, sir. A very good evening and a warm welcome to all present here. My name is Ratandeep Prajapati, Chief Manager, IBS Marketing. Dear students, congratulations and welcome to IBS. You should be happy to have got into one of the best management programs and top B schools of India. To make your journey into the program a smooth one, we have organized a small meeting for you to clear your last minute queries and ease your entry. We are happy to have with us Dr. Preeti Saxena, Senior Director and Campus Head IBS Mumbai, and Professor Hemant Purandre, Deputy Director Academics IBS Mumbai, who will answer all your queries. And as a panel moderator, we have Mr. Tejas Shriyan, Assistant General Manager IBS Marketing, who will put forth your questions to the panel. I'm extremely honored to introduce Dr. Preeti Saxena, Senior Director and Campus Head IBS Mumbai. Dr. Preeti Saxena is the Senior Director and a Placement Head of ICFA Business School, Mumbai. She has been associated with IBS Mumbai for more than 2 decades. She started as a visiting faculty and become a full-time faculty. Since then, she has been contributing to the campus in multiple roles. From faculty in marketing, she became Associate Dean Student Activities, Associate Dean MDP, followed by Dean Placements, was soon redesignated as the Director, Corporate Relations and Deputy Campus Head. She has been very instrumental in the growth and industry academia partnership of the campus. Dr. Saxena holds dual postgraduate degrees, Master of Science from Gujarat Universities and Master in Marketing Management from Nasi Munji Institute of Management Studies affiliated to University of Mumbai. She acquired her PhD in Advertising and Consumer Behavior from SNDT University, Mumbai. She is also the recipient of many prestigious awards in the management fraternity. I welcome you, ma'am. We also have Professor Hemant Purandre, Deputy Director, Academics, IBS Mumbai, with us today. Professor Hemant Purandre is a civil engineer and marketing professional with 35 years of corporate and academic experience, spanning in areas of project management, project marketing, branding of products and organizations, service operations. He has worked in leading Indian corporates and concurrently been a faculty in area of marketing and service management. As a deputy director, he coordinates all the academic and student assessment related activities at IBS Mumbai. He has written and published papers, case study in areas of marketing. In 2017, he was awarded as the best dean at the 9th Innovative Asian Confederation of Business. Sir, I welcome you, sir. May I now request our campus head to congratulate the achievers and share few words of wisdom. Over to you, ma'am and sir.
Thank you, Ratandeep. Good evening, my student friends. It's my pleasure to interact with you today. I'm sure you would have heard either some other campus head or someone from the IBS family, and some of you would have even heard me before this particular, this particular interaction with you. I want you to make the best of this interaction by putting forward even the smallest of question no matter, it could be related to fee structure, it could be hostel accommodation, it could be choice of electives, summer internship, placements, the student faculty relation, or the kind of student faculty interaction, or the student faculty ratio. How are we managing such large numbers of students in a campus like IBS Mumbai? You would be knowing that IBS Mumbai, after IBS Hyderabad, has the largest student strength, and every year we get about 1100 to 1200 students in our campus joining IBS Mumbai. And this also speaks about what my team and I are committed to, making that difference to the students, especially when you decide to take up higher studies and you want to get into a great career, which you feel that this particular qualification is going to help you. So having understood that, we see that every student, before they leave the campus, they should get a placement, preferably of their choice. And definitely students do get placed according to their choice, because the system that we follow over here is a very, very transparent system. And the number of companies that come also gives student a lot of, a huge plethora of choices in which company to sit, where to appear, where, which sector you want to get into. And if I have to tell you, this year we have got about 250 plus companies who have come to IBS Mumbai and hired our students. Placement record has been excellent. We maintain 98% placements consistently. Now this is going to be our, we were looking at the alumni celebrations, and we realized that it's going to be 25 years that, the first batch that passed out, and we need to be doing something for that, the first batch that passed out in 1997, and now it's going to be 25 years, so let's do something big for, for. So if I have to share with you, I can tell you a whole lot of things about the way we teach, the way the students' learning experience, or the internships, the choice of electives, the international immersions, student activities, co-curricular activities, the student clubs, the kind of infrastructure that we have, where we've got the language lab and the IT lab, and I think whatever one would anticipate, envisage, expect, want in a B school is something that we have worked, and we have that to offer to the students who come to IBS Mumbai campus. And with this, I am going to ask my colleague Hemant Purandre to tell you something about the academic side of IBS Mumbai, and then we will make it open for question answers. I'm sure Tejas will have a whole lot of questions, if he's going to be moderating our discussions. So I request Hemant to.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti. Good evening and welcome once again to what is likely to be your alma mater starting June of 2022. We all look forward to your journey in IBS Mumbai, because I understand almost all of you have been offered IBS Mumbai, which I'm sure is your choice campus. So obviously you would have done your due diligence. You would have spoken to maybe some of our alumni. You would have spoken to some other friends who would have recommended the IBS Mumbai experience. Let me just take some time to trace a journey for path for you. Starting when you come, we all expect to see you on campus, hopefully on 16th of May of 2022, when we kick off. We kick off the program, the class of 2024, with a 2-week preparation, or what we call as a initiation program for most of you who would probably be reorienting yourself, either coming from maybe a couple of years of work experience, or maybe coming from different towns, different places, or different undergraduate programs. And therefore, in this 15-day initiation workshop or program that we would have, we would expose you to the basics of, let's say, accounts for non-accounting or non-finance people or non-commerce people, mathematics or operations for those who have come from non-engineering backgrounds, a little bit of IT, and of course, some of the very special activities that happen at IBS Mumbai. All the student clubs will, you will get a peek into what kind of developmental activities happen for each one of you, whether it is through our language labs, whether it is through our IT labs, and the entire work. So come 1st of June, you are ready and eager to kick off the semester, which is the semester 1. Semester 1 and semester 2 form the bedrock, the basis on which the entire PGPM program, your journey, you have to start with a sound footing. And for that, in semester 1 and in semester 2, you have a variety of courses or subjects, as we call them, which take you through the entire gamut of what it takes to be a good manager, whether it is organizational behavior, whether it is HR, whether it is marketing, whether it is finance, whether it is accounts, whether it is operations, IT, data analytics, business communication, effectiveness, effective managers, and the entire gamut of things. So by the end of semester 2, that is when you will write your exams in the month of January of 23, you are ready, and you are ready to join the corporate internship program, or the summer internship program as it is commonly known, for a period of 16 weeks, in which you get an exposure to actual working on corporate. You understand products, services, industries, sectors, how to work with people, how to deal with clients, how to deal with processes, how to deal with maybe systems in that organization. So when you come back after your internship, we all will guarantee that you will be a transformed, and transformation will happen from a student to a budding manager, ready for offering yourself for placements. So that is your stepping stone in June of 23. So from June of 23, what happens is you start your semester 3, which comprises of some common courses, which will be like legal environment of business, which will be maybe like your corporate strategies, and a host of electives. Now, what do you mean by specialization or electives? Obviously, that talks about going deep into a particular domain, whether it is finance, whether it is marketing, or whether it is operations, whether it is IT. You will have to take multiple courses, and each student is required to take a minimum of 8 specialization courses in semester 3 and semester 4. Along with the academics, this is the time, the most crucial time of your career, what you are waiting for, the placement activities. And placement activities, we say, is a three-step process. Before you get a job, you have to go through an entire process of preparation, preparing yourself, understanding what the jobs are, understanding the job market, trying to get yourself a career path, then preparing for the selection process itself, and then finally facing the recruiters, which will happen once August or September of 23 starts. And that's the time when the entire placement processes happen. We are very happy that so far we had a great experience with making sure that about 80% of the placements happen before December, and 90 to 95% of the placements happen before January of 24, when you write your final exams and you are a graduate, and instead of welcoming you, we are going to say goodbye to you at that time or say all the best to you. So we're just looking forward to all of you. Feel free to ask any questions, anything that you want to know. We'll be happy to answer them. Over to you, Tejesh. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Dear Dr. Preeti Saxena, Senior Director and Campus Head, and Professor Hemant Purandre, Deputy Director Academics, I welcome you to this conversation with our IBSAT achievers and students of the batch 2024. Dear students and PGPM aspirants, congratulations and welcome to this exclusive conversation with our Senior Director and Deputy Director Academics who have made time to speak to you. I feel honored to be the moderator for today's conversation and take all of you through your next 2 years of journey. Since this is a Q&A session, may I request all students to ask as many questions as you can and get your answers and have a healthy conversation. Please post your questions in the chat box from where they will be selected. So I request everybody to post your questions in the chat box. I will read it out for the panel. Ma'am, to begin with, to begin the conversation, I have a personal question, where, a lot of students have been inquiring with me. Ma'am, could you, tell me about the top placement, which has been 53 lakhs rupees plus. And this is the second time we have crossed 50 lakhs rupees, ma'am. So what is the mantra? How does our placement work?
Tejas, this is a company. It's a retailer who is very well known in the African market, and they have been coming to IBS. IBS Hyderabad was something with whom they had a very long association, and every year they were taking anywhere from 5 students to 5 students and even more from IBS Hyderabad. But we would see that, and then we realized, that why is it that Mumbai, we are not able to get them to Mumbai? So we started our efforts in asking them, but they were all like, they've already empaneled certain B schools and they will only be hiring from that. But we told them that no, you have to give us a chance. Doesn't matter if our students get selected or not, but give us a chance. Without seeing our students, you can't just rule it out. So we started working on them, and now consecutively 2 years, our student is getting placed with them. The panel travels from Africa, and they come to Mumbai and they do the selection process. Now, last to last year, the student got placed for the first time, and he did very well in that company. So when he did very well, naturally his recommendation had weightage, and then of course, once if one of our student gets into a company, our relation starts with that organization, and then the alumni support that we get is always that we are very grateful to our alumni. And in this case also the same thing had happened. This boy who got selected about 2 years back, he did so well in the company, and then he told me that the company is very happy with him. And this year we got one more placements from them only, where again the CTC is about 53 lakhs and the posting is going to be in Nigeria. This boy is placed in Ghana, and he helped us with through the Alumni Connect we were able to get this, because this time the company had very limited requirement, but the alumni relation is something that helped us in getting. And it is not just with this company, with many other companies, wherever our students are and they are doing well, they are the ones who help our students to get into that same company. And if you ask me about other international placements, we've got in all we've got about 14 placements, but the other placements are in Dubai and they are with a real estate company. So totally we have got 14 international placements, which is the highest as of now in all IBS campuses. Among all IBS campuses, IBS Mumbai has got the maximum number of international placements this year. And other placements, if you want to know, then I would request the students to go on refer to the admission kit which has come to them, where they will get a detailed account of the companies which are coming, what has been the average CTC, and how we are consistently maintaining 98% placements.
Thank you, ma'am. I will now take question posted by the students. Shalini Kumar is asking, if I opt for PGPM and online MBA program as well, will I be getting two different certificates?
Yes, you will certainly get two different certificates, because there are two different bodies which will grant you a PGPM certification, which is the basic thing, which will be campus based from IBS Mumbai, which is a program for which you enroll. And because you enroll into that program, there is a special facility given for PGPM students to voluntarily opt for an online MBA program which is offered by IFHE Hyderabad, which is a university in Hyderabad belonging to the ICFI group itself. So it is a voluntary activity. If you choose to, you may join the online MBA program. It will require you to write certain exams. Study material will be shared with you. Exams will not clash with the PGPM programs. That care will be taken. In case you have some difficulties in the online MBA study material, I'm sure our faculty members can help you out. But primarily in Mumbai, you will be pursuing the PGPM program, as I described just now. The entire journey of 4 semesters and your SIP and placements will all happen. So once again, yes, you will get two different certificates from two different bodies, right? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next question is from Shreyas Deshpande, who wants to know whether our academic year will be offline or online.
Yeah, we are all praying that it will be offline. And if indications as they appear today, as I said, that I look forward to seeing all of you on 16th of May in person, on campus.
So Shreyas, we are all hoping for offline, and we are all ready for it. Okay. So now the next question is about the batch strength of our PGPM program in IBS Mumbai.
Dr. Preeti already mentioned that the batch strength has been between 1,000 to about 1150, 1170 every year, depending on a variety of factors. But please understand that what we do is we have multiple sections, and in each section, you will not have more than 60 students. So as far as the experience of learning goes, as far as access to infrastructure, availability of faculty, etc., it is going to be taken care of, irrespective of the total number of sections which will happen. Like for example, this year we have 16 sections who are now currently doing their internship. So yes, you have, the larger the batch size, the more networking opportunities you have, the greater the options you have, both in placements and in infrastructure, in the internships. Yeah.
So there is one student, who is very keen to know, like he has a medical emergency in the month of May, that is, he has a surgery lined up, and he's saying whether I will get a leave of 1 or 2 months to start with.
We can always consider this. I think once things are firmed up, we will chart out a plan, so that obviously a medical emergency needs to be taken care of first, and we will try and make sure that student can catch up. That we can do, no problem. We are very student centric organization, but we also have certain processes in place. So we'll be able to help him. Tejas, I think we take this offline with him.
Sure. Okay. Sir, Khushi wants to know which is the best campus for hiring, foreign hiring for in marketing.
I think this is what Dr. Preeti would be able to provide it.
See, this year, if they look at the placement record, Mumbai has got the highest number of international placements if we compare us with any of the other IBSs. But this is a scenario that keeps changing. There was a year when IBS Pune had the highest number, and there was a year when IBS Hyderabad had the highest number. So this keeps changing, and I want to tell you, student friends, that the same companies go to all the campuses. It all depends on how the students perform. If in 1 year I might find IBS Mumbai students to be doing very well with a particular company, and the second, in the next year, the scenario may change. So it all depends upon the students' performance at the time of the selection process. But this year, yes, Mumbai is the highest with international placements.
Thank you, ma'am. Sir, Sahil Shetty would like to know, for this online MBA, do we have lectures online or the campus will help us?
See, in an online program, essentially it is self-study. Now, once you join the program, as I mentioned, that this is a program which is run by the IFHE University at Hyderabad. So they will have an entire program every semester. They will have study materials. That study material would be available to you maybe in the form of video lectures or maybe some worksheets, online worksheets and so on. So there won't be attendance lectures compulsory, but you will have to study on your own. That is how generally the online programs are. Like we do a Coursera course where you have to study at your own pace, but write the exams which will happen at a predetermined interval. So that's how it will work.
Thank you, sir. I am not getting the name, which is OnePlus. Does IBS Bangalore provides MBA or PGTM?
IBS Bangalore from this year onwards will provide you an MBA program with an MBA certification from IFHE Hyderabad only, since Bangalore is a satellite campus now.
Right. Thank you, sir. Also, Sankalp would like to know whether IBS provides any scholarship to do CFA.
Scholarship to do CFA?
Sankalp, actually this platform is for MBA program and PGPM program. So I think this is out of, or you can call me and we'll talk on this offline.
Definitely we'll talk, yes.
Yeah. Ma'am, there are a lot of questions on, what is the differentiation between PGPM and MBA?
Yeah. Students, I think this is a pet question of the students. Huh? Mm-hmm. So every time they will ask, what is the difference between a PGPM and an MBA? MBA is a degree, and degree is awarded by a university. The university could be a private university, it could be a state government university, it could be a central university. It could be, when I'm saying a deemed university, which could be floated by a group of people coming together as a society. So what you get as an MBA is a degree awarded by a university. PGPM is a certification program. It is a 2-year management qualification certificate, which is awarded by autonomous campuses. IBS Mumbai is an autonomous campus, and we give you a PGPM. But from this year, we are also enabling our students so that they don't lose out on any opportunity. We are also enabling you to acquire an online MBA, at an additional fee of 60,000, and what you will be getting is a management, I mean an MBA degree from the university, the IFHE Hyderabad, and that will be a degree. So what you will get is a PGPM, which is a certification, and an online MBA degree from IFHE Hyderabad. So the difference, if you look at, both are management qualification, both are 2-year program. It is just that one is awarded by a university, the other one is awarded by an autonomous campus.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, there is a question, will we get placed internationally by studying any of the courses? I think we want to ask about the specialization.
Yeah, so when the companies come on campus, they will specify, see, they will come with multiple options. So they will come with marketing profiles, finance profiles. There's a company called Sadhguru Travels. They hire finance students. They want more finance students and HR students, not so many as marketing. But if it is a real estate company, this year we have got more marketing students getting into this international hiring profiles. So the companies will come with multiple options, or they will even make it as that their job profile is open to looking at all specializations. So all this depends upon the company's requirement for that particular year, their business plan, and how many students of which stream they want to hire.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
hope that is the question, because the question probably read that by studying any of the course. Now, if the student has a confusion that the student is free to opt for a PGPM or an online MBA, no, it is not like that. Please understand, the admission which all of you have secured is for the PGPM program. If you have been offered PGPM program, if you have been offered Bangalore campus, it is for MBA of the Bangalore campus only. The online MBA is a voluntary enrollment which you can do after you come into the program of PGPM. So, and as far as specialization goes, Dr. Preeti has just now answered the question about international placements through specializations. Yeah.
Sir, there are some questions on accommodation. Somebody wants to know about IBS Ahmedabad. Mehul, I would suggest, get in touch with your counselor or the marketing team. I am sure they will be able to help you on this. Or you can call up the IBS Ahmedabad campus also on this.
Right.
Yeah. And also somebody, Srishti Shetty wants to know if she can visit IBS Hyderabad before 16th of May for hostel accommodation. Yes, you can. You can write a mail, or you can, as I said, you can take a help of the counselor or the marketing team who's attached to you. There is a question from Ria. She says the location is a problem, sir, because I am from Jamshedpur. Are any other students from Jamshedpur in IBS Mumbai?
I'm sure there are many students. You just put into the LinkedIn or whatever, and you will get a host lot of students who are from Jamshedpur, alumni who have completed their PGPM from Mumbai and hailing from Jamshedpur. I'm sure in your Facebook, if you put, you will get it. You'll get a lot of things. If you hit IBS Mumbai Facebook page also, you can leave a comment there, and I'm sure people will catch up with you.
Thank you, sir. Then there are some questions on electives, sir. Like, how many electives are there in this program?
Okay. See, what we call as electives or specialization subjects, every student is required to opt for 4 such electives in semester 3 and 4 electives in semester 4. Now, this choice is entirely up to the student, which 4 to take when. So, before the beginning of the semester, an entire list of more than 70 such electives are made available to you. If you look at what I have in my hand, this is called a program syllabus book. See how thick it is. This thick. Yeah. And out of that, only this much is for semester 1 of first year. Okay, this much. rest is all electives. So you have a choice of more than 70 electives. So even within the finance domain, you will have, let us say, 25 electives, of which you have to choose 8. How to choose them? It's a choice problem of plenty, not a problem of scarcity. So you will get help from faculty, you will get help from our placement team, you will get help from your seniors, and you will be able to carve out a unique mix of specializations which will help you achieve your career goals. So no problem, there is a lot of choice. Each one has to take 8 electives in all in a particular field, or you can even take across 2 fields, what we call as dual specialization, or you can take something called major minor. So there is a lot of choice which all of you will be able to enjoy.
Thank you, sir. So Anand Joshi wants to know the college timings. What are college timings or lecture timings?
College timing, Anand, generally if we are going to go on campus, we will start the day at 8:30, and the campus college classes go on up to 4:30. However, depending on which section you are, which day, which courses, which subjects you have, what are your timings, you will come to know. But by and large, this is the time in which the campus functions, from morning 8:30 to about 6:30 in the evening. But typically, if a student comes in the morning at 8:30, he is free by about 3:30. And then somebody comes at 10:30, you go up to 6:30. And I'm sure the Pune campus also would be following very similar lines, maybe half an hour plus minus.
Thank you, sir. So Swati Upadhyay wants to know if campus supports for hostel accommodation. Will we support them for hostel accommodation in Mumbai?
Support, yes, we will definitely be able to provide you with information about what are the options in the vicinity. We will be able to provide you information about some of the agencies who offer a variety of accommodation, whether they are hostels or whether they are shared apartments or whether they are PGs. So we will get, I think in the letter itself, you will get a connect to whom you can write. There is an ID also which is given to students where you can write in and you will get information about hostel accommodation. If you are from Mumbai, obviously you should not require hostel accommodation. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
So there is a student, Vishak Kumar. He wants to know if a student takes up finance, can he sit for consulting interviews?
Yeah, why not? He's saying that will the consulting companies look for students with finance specialization? Yes, consulting companies come with very specific requirements for finance students. If there is a business development opportunities, then they will look for marketing students. And consulting is one such sector where they look for all specializations, because they would be having clients who would have different requirements, and that is where there is always a need for people with different specializations in the consulting firm.
Thank you, ma'am. There is a question from Dashrath Sen. He says he is asking, what if we do not do online MBA along with the GPM? Will that affect?
No, I mean, see, typically, what is the rationale? Why people were asking for an MBA? There are some specific requirements of people, particularly, say, government jobs or some semi-government organizations who insist that the postgraduate management program is called MBA. Okay, so there in the job qualification they say that we want MBA, we will hire MBA. Now those kind of profiles are what a person would be eligible for. Similarly, there are other situations where somebody wants to pursue higher education. In the university setup only, you go back, you want to do your, let's say, PhD, or you want to do another master's, maybe in India, maybe outside India, where they will say that we require a university master's program, master's degree. Those are the people for whom an online MBA as a facility has been made available to the students who opt for PGPM. However, please understand that PGPM is our flagship program. We have been offering this program for the last 25 plus years. We have an alumni of more than 55,000 alumni who have already gone into various industries, maybe 2,500 different companies all over the globe. And so the acceptance by the recruiters in the private sector of PGPM or MBA or MMS is practically the same. Yeah. But as I said, for somebody who wants a MBA degree for purposes like government jobs or maybe higher education, this option is available. Again, it's a completely voluntary option. Yeah. I hope that answers.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, Shalini wants to know, if there are some certain companies who want to hire only MBA students. So if I opt for an online MBA along with PGPM, will I be considered for those only MBA placement criteria?
No, nobody says only MBA. Tomorrow, if somebody has got a MBA degree along with the CFA degree, it doesn't mean that company will say no to him. So certainly, yes, undoubted.
Thank you. I have some questions on summer internship also, sir. They want to know whether the summer internship will be held by the campus.
Yes, we do provide summer internship placement assistance. Students would, if they want to source summer internship through their own sources, that is also permitted. We have had number of students who have sourced summer internships through going to various portals like an internshala. Even there it happens. But yes, more than 150 companies this year came on campus asking for internship. So out of the entire batch, maybe 60% of the batch has been placed through campus for summer internship. About 30-35% got it on their own or from outside. It happens. So no problem.
Thank you, sir. Is there any dress code for the campus? Is it formal or casuals?
Certainly we have a dress code which is in keeping with what you want to project yourself as young managers. So on campus we do not encourage extreme casual dresses like torn jeans and slippers and sleeveless shirts and sleeveless blouses and all those kind of things. But on regular days we encourage students to come in smart casuals. But on formal days, yes, we do expect that they come in blazer and tie or formal wear attire. Yeah.
The Sahil Shetty wants to know whether this PGPM, with this PGPM degree, with this PGPM, if we are placed in foreign country and tomorrow if he wants to shift the job, will he be able to shift the job in a foreign country with a PGPM degree?
Well, I should see no reason why not, and people have done it. There are many people who are doing it. See, after you get a job and after you want to shift, it is between the employer and the candidate, isn't it? So we have not had a situation of what he's apprehending, that one job he will get and then he can't shift. It happens, no problem.
There are some students, whose final year exams are still pending, so they want to know when our program is starting.
As I said, that the preparatory or the initiation program starts on 16th of May, and from 1st of June, the semester 1 teaching will commence. But the students who have exams, they will be granted special leave. Depending on the dates which they have to produce the university timetables and they will be given dates. They will be given the necessary leave periods, not a problem.
Okay. We have Vishak Kumar who's asking, have any trading firms or prop desk have come to Mumbai campus?
Please read again.
Have any trading firms or prop desk have come to Mumbai campus?
Prop test.
What is a prop test? We can just clarify.
DESK desk. I think Vishak, if you can elaborate what is prop desk.
Put in a.
Yeah, if you can complete this question, Vishak, if you can post it again with little more detail. Then, sir, we have a question on, are there any new subjects added to our curriculum?
Yes, every year new sets of electives are added depending on what the market conditions are. For example, 2 years ago, we added a set of data analytics electives. Last year, we added an elective on fintech. This year, we are looking at adding some electives which are around managing consulting firms. So it is a continuous process. This syllabus revival, renewal, and recalibration is a continuous activity with us. So what you will get a most contemporary, most cutting edge program when you get into the ICFI system. Yeah.
Okay, now I think Vishak has mentioned that it is institutions who trade in equity markets. That is what he's calling as.
Certainly, what you are talking of is equity firms, research firms, whether it is a ICICI Securities, which does that. So there are many. If you look at the entire list of recruiters in the placement book, which is placement brochure, which is given, you will find many firms there. I mean, you name the firm in India, it is there. Whether it is a Carvi, whether it is a ICICI Securities, so many of them.
Tanuja, sir has already mentioned the start date of the program, 16th of May, where we'll be having preparatory lectures, and the regular college or regular lectures will start from 1st of June. Karan wants to know which companies come for placement related to operations.
Operations. See, when you say operations, there are companies who will very specifically say that they are looking for students with engineering and operations as a combination. So there are logistics companies who will ask for it. Some of the manufacturing companies will ask for it. Our regular recruiter in logistics has been DHL. We do get companies like HCL asking for students with operations management as their specialization. Companies even with HR operations will look for students with operations background. Retail operations will look for students with operations background. And there are some international logistics companies who look for students with operations background. And there are students who are working in shifts because you have to work on those foreign shifts. There are students with operations specialization working only on data related to logistics or data related to operations with a manufacturing company, global sourcing, global procurement, and they all look for operations specialization.
Thank you, ma'am. There are some questions on specialization. Can we do dual specialization?
Sure. As I told you that we have facility of opting for a combination. Okay. That combination is entirely the choice of the student. Combination can be focused. That means all 8 in one specialization only. Combination can be dual, where you have 4 in one specialization, 4 in another specialization. Combination can be a major minor. So where you may have 5 plus 3 or 6 plus 2 as a split between 2. Usually, it is a bad idea to take a combination of more than 3 domain electives. Okay, we do that, no problem about that. So, what is called as a dual specialization is typically 4 from one area, 4 from the other area. So, for example, somebody wants to look at banking, insurance, and marketing. So, you have 4 finance papers and 4 marketing papers. So, that can be a dual specialization. Or maybe somebody wants to do marketing and IT, major and minor. So somebody wants to take 6 marketing subjects, 2 IT subjects, or 5 marketing, 3 IT. That option is also available. A lot of students who want to go into the analytics space do this.
Thank you, ma'am. So, ma'am, we have a question asking for, do non-engineers get placed in operations and supply chain management?
Yes, they do. They do get placed. The companies will specify your specialization at a management level. And only where the companies are very specific, a manufacturing company which needs engineering background, or there could be a consulting firms which will say that no, we are looking at engineering and operations. But otherwise, as I told you, there could be retail operations. In that, there is no such thing as you have to be an engineer and then topping it with operations specialization. So there are companies who look for all kinds of this thing, some with engineers, some as non-engineers. So there is no limit as such that no, with operations you have to be an engineer only.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, we have a question, what kind of job roles we can look at for an HR specialization?
There are companies like TCS, there are companies like Kotak Bank, HDFC Bank. There are startups who look for HR students, and they will offer profiles like corporate recruitment, training and development. There could be TCS will look for students with with some kind of industrial relations, and they will want students to be in the HR in the HR stream as generalists. ICICI Prudential looks for HR students. So what we saw in the last 2 years was suddenly there was a demand in IT companies with HR specializations. So more of these IT companies were hiring students with HR specialization, and they were all looking at a generalist profile more and wanting HR specialization, students with HR specialization.
Ma'am, there are some questions on placements. How many interviews can I sit? One student, how many interviews can I sit?
See, you could be lucky that you sit in the first company and you get selected. It could be a difficult thing that you may get fed up after 20 interviews and you may say that I'm still not selected, I want to opt out. But there are students who have sat for 30 companies, 35 companies, and then got selected. So IBS will work with you till the time you get placed. We have not kept a ceiling that you must get placed in the first 5 companies or first 10 companies or first 20 companies. It is up to you where you clear the selection process. Most of the students will get selected between the first and the 10th attempt. We do not stop students at that, no, you can't sit for more than 5 companies or 10 companies. There are students who have taken even 35 attempts and 36th company has selected them.
Ma'am, in continuation with this question, can a student, who's already got a job offer, can sit for one more interview or, till he takes it? No,
that we are very particular. Once having accepted an offer with a company, you cannot sit for any other company.
Thank you, ma'am. I have a question. What is the highest package offered in finance?
This year, the highest package for finance has been 12.5 lakhs. And of course, the average, if you ask me, for finance has been 7.5 lakhs.
And ma'am, one more question from Vishak. When top finance firms come for placement, do they have a prerequisite that a student must have a professional certifications like CFA or CMT?
Mhm. There are companies who mention that as one of the criteria, but that's not a limiting criteria that you are not eligible if you do not have that. But they do mention that if you have this, that would be like an additional, advantage over others. But as I mentioned, that they will be looking at finance specialization. If you have a CFA, very good. And also the recruiters know what we are offering. So these kind of profiles will generally not be shared with us, but whenever the company specifies and when we look at your data, there are students who've done a CA and then come to do an MBA. Or there are students who are parallelly pursuing a CFA. So we keep this data with us, and if the company specifies that, then we share your data with those companies.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, Vishak, Vaidehi wants to know what are the finance companies, which companies come regular to the campus? Finance role.
Finance, all the big fours, all four of them come. The audit companies, banks come, all private banks come, starting from with HDFC, ICICI Bank, Kotak, IndusInd, Yes, Axis, all these banks are there. There are startups who look for finance specialization. There are edtech companies which look for finance specialization. There are, as I told you, the consulting firms, the IT companies look for students with finance specialization. Fintechs look for finance specialization. I think the scope for finance students has suddenly gone up in the last 2 years, especially when more and more companies are investing in technology and finance combination.
Thank you, ma'am. What are the extra co-curricular activities happening in the campus?
Co-curricular activities, there are student clubs, 24 student clubs, and the student clubs are all coordinated by an associate dean level faculty. These clubs are coordinated by students and faculty members, and when I say 24 clubs, we have clubs with all domain specialization. We have clubs which are to do with community welfare. We have the social cell, we have the entrepreneurship cell, we have a tie-up with Rotary, and the kind of activities that we organize range from international immersion to marathons to sports, and of course our annual fest. Our students participate a lot in other B school competitions and fests, and all this happens at an all India level. So students do travel and go and participate in other B schools, in other cities, other towns. So you never feel any deprivation or dearth of any student activities with 24 clubs being active.
Thank you, ma'am. Is HUL company a regular recruiter?
HUL comes, but they don't come as a campus profile. They do send their requirement, and it is more of a process that happens at an all India level, and our students do participate.
Thank you, ma'am. Girish wants to know, is there any earning in SIP? I think he's talking about the stipend.
Yes, there are all kinds of internships, stipendary as well as non-stipendary, performance-based, allowance-based. So a variety of options are available. I think currently my numbers are right, about 35 to 40% of them are regular monthly stipendary internships, and maybe 20% odd are about performance-based, 20-25% are performance-based ones. About 10-15% would be no stipend, nothing.
Okay.
But learning is great, so students want to go. Yeah.
So, Vishal wants to know more details about SIP, like what happens in this 14 weeks.
So typically, as we said, that this whole period is to give the students an opportunity to understand, explore, and interact with organizations from within the organization, rather than looking at them in as they do in classrooms. They have a theory subject, textbooks, etc. But here it is actually active learning, learning by doing, as we call it. So there are tasks which will be given to the students. Their activities will be monitored. They will have to report. They will have to learn about certain products and processes. They will get a chance to actually see some of the theories which they have learned in class being applied. For example, there is a theory which we call the theory of segmentation in marketing. When you actually go to a company and you interact with them, you will understand how they have segmented the market, what kind of segments they have identified, what are the basis of segmentation and things like that. So this is how the transformation takes place. You actually become more confident of handling a task, you become result oriented, you get more confidence in dealing with people. So those are all the transformations which we see in the entire 16-week activity, and each of this activity is closely monitored by both a faculty mentor from the institute as well as a industry guide. So both of them together will work on what sort of project, what sort of deliverables, what is the time frame, what is the methodology. The whole activity is closely monitored, and then it is graded. It is not as if you do it and then forget. No, you have to report, you have to create a report, you have to give a presentation, you have to defend your report in front of a panel, and at every stage you will get a grade, you will get a feedback, you will get marks for it. And our internship is a full-fledged term, so it will add to your CGPA of the course. So it's not something which you just do and forget. That's how the internship is.
Okay. So the Ria, and there is one more other student who wants to know what is the lowest package of finance and how many company can we set for a placement?
I told you about number of companies till you get selected. There are 250 companies that come every year. And I think the most, I don't want to use the word worst scenario, but students do get selected even at 35th attempt and 36th attempt, or they even get selected in the first attempt that they sit. So, and the lowest package that you want to know, we do not let any company with less than 4.5 lakh come on campus.
Thank you, ma'am. Somebody wants to know how different and impactful IBS Mumbai is as compared to other B school in Mumbai.
You have to come to experience it, or you talk to our alumni. That is the best way. The proof, as the proof of pudding is in eating it. Unless you experience it, it's very difficult, because no matter how much we describe it, it will be difficult for you to experience it, and it is a journey. As I said right at the beginning, please treat it as a transformational journey, and that journey is going to take 2 years. Wherever you go, it cannot happen in one day.
Yeah. But I definitely want to tell you this, that we are the largest in terms of numbers. There is no B school in Mumbai that has one single program like a PGPM and has this kind of strength. At best, it will be 240, or maybe with all other things put together, it could be 360. But it is, or a 400 number, but not more than that. It is only IBS Mumbai. So I keep telling the students that you discover the advantage of studying in the large school of 1,000+ students and see what the learning can be when you are networking with more than 1,000 students in a year.
Thank you, ma'am. In fact, we are one of the highest alumni base. We have 58,000 plus alumni in the market today. All are working with corporates in very senior positions, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, there is one more question from Rahul. Will it be difficult to choose finance for an engineer?
Not really. If you are ready to put in the basic groundwork and you are ready to, in fact, a lot of engineers have chosen finance and they're doing very well in the finance areas after their management degrees also. So not at all. I don't think that would be difficult. But yes, you have to be very certain, dedicated. But that's true for any course, anything. Nobody wants to just take this as a casual attempt, right?
Ma'am, what are the scopes in IT? What kind of jobs do they come for IT specialization?
There are technology-based companies, there are finance companies which use technology extensively. So there can be companies like HCL, consulting firms. All these people require IT. Today, IT is something which, they say that knowledge of IT essential and knowledge of IT will help. So if you specialize, you will get into analytics, you will get into companies with the profiles like analyst. You could also get into research organizations, where and that research could be consumer research, it could be analytics, data to work on projects, it could be finance, it could be capital markets, and all these people will require students with IT knowledge. See, today management education is completely changed, and it is not that you can thrive only with knowledge of marketing and no other this. It's become so interdisciplinary that even with your IT as specialization, you will be required to have business knowledge of other sectors. And IT will definitely pave path for you to use more and more technology in order to carry out the role. Ultimately, what you are doing is you are driving a business.
So what IT roles you will not get are definitely coding roles or network analyst roles, or even maybe cyber security is a very niche IT role. So those are roles which are generally given to computer engineers or people with coding language proficiencies and things like that. For somebody who does an IT specialization in a management, as Dr. Preeti rightly said, it is about data analyst. It is essentially like a reporting professional or a compliance professional, which you will, those are the kind of roles that you will get. Analyst, reporting, and compliance would be the broad areas under any specialization, whether it is marketing, finance, or whatever. Yeah.
Thank you. We have one more question, ma'am. What is the class trend? I think he wants to know how many students are there in a class, particular class.
I think that was answered by me, as I told you that each section will have 60 max students, 60 to 62, that kind of a number.
So I think, sir, we have completed all the questions. If students, if there is any question, please, you can post. Okay, there is one more question from Vishak. In a day, how many lectures are conducted? Like how many hours of a lecture?
In the first year, typically there would be 3 courses, and each course will have 2.5 hours of lectures per day. That is the load in the first year.
Okay.
So about 6.5 to 7 hours of classrooms.
Okay. Anand Joshi wants to know whether IBS Pune also offers PGPM plus MBA, like MBA online degree. Yes. We do offer online MBA with all our PGPM campuses.
2 direct messages to us.
Now, there are direct messages. Will the classes be offline or online? As we said, we hope they will be offline. We are geared up for both online and offline. So we can very quickly switch between whatever has to happen in a matter of a day. Somebody said that will you please repeat when the program will start in May, June. 16th of May is when we start the PGPM program with the 15-day orientation program, and 1st of June the lectures for semester 1 will start. So these were direct messages, stages. That's why we took them over to you.
Please, sir, please.
Yeah.
There's one more. When will we be allotted our classes? Allocation of classes on 1st of June.
What classes? I mean, when you come, you will be told on 15th of May at 8 o'clock in the night, you will be given your section, information about your section. That will be given to you.
And there is one more question from Kajal. How will both PGPM and MBA will be carried out if students opt for both?
As has been repeatedly said, once again I will repeat, the program and the campus will be PGPM only. MBA is an online activity which the student needs to do on their own, supported by online resources. So it is going to be, you study on your own and then give the exams. So exams will be scheduled so that the interference between PGPM and MBA is not there. So for example, in June, the PGPM program will start and the semester exam will happen in the first week of October. For MBA, the program will start, let us say, in July, and the exams will be held in the month of November. So there will be this kind of a time frame possible. Details will be given to you once you come on campus. Once you join the PGPM program, only then are you allowed to be eligible for what we have been talking about, this online MBA, okay, at a concessional rate.
I think most of the questions have been answered about accommodation. As I mentioned, you can get in touch with your counselor or the marketing team. They will help you, or you can call up the campuses. Okay, one more question. How are students put in a section? Is it random or based on the percentile secured in the IBS interview?
No, random.
No, it's random. Is it necessary to attend preparatory lectures?
Ideally, yes. It is in your own benefit. Lot of things will get cleared. You are acclimatizing yourself. So we would strongly recommend that you must attend the preparatory classes.
There is a question, if there is a PGPM, then why online MBA? It is only for people who are very keen on this. Otherwise, like sir said, PGPM will suffice your requirement for all the corporate jobs. So I think, sir, we have come to the end. I think there are no more questions. So thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. And thank you for the students also. And over to you, Ratan.
Thank you, Tejas sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Preeti Saxena ma'am and Professor Hemant Purandre sir, for giving insights of campus over placements, extra co-curricular activity and academics, and solving the queries of all shortlisted candidates for IBS Business School. And one very important announcement to the candidate who have not reserved the seat yet: it is advised to pay the admission fees immediately to reserve your seat, failing which your seat will be cancelled and transferred to the waitlisted candidate. So the last day to make your admission fee payment is 25th of March. Thank you, student, for listening us. Thank you once again, Tejas sir and Preeti ma'am and Hemant sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Ratan. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. So,
Best, all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.